Hi ornament girls and guys, and welcome to your tutorial for creating a mini holiday wreath bow for your wreath shaped ornaments. This beautiful little layered bow was designed by Darlene, and it's perfect for use on our wreath ornament patterns such as the rippled wreath, which you see here, or the ruffled wreath or welcome wreath ornaments that are also created on disc-shaped foam. This little holiday wreath bow will work perfectly on any of these mini wreaths, and you can adjust your colors and your ribbon layers to create a holiday bow for any season. To create my mini holiday wreath bow, I have a few different materials here, and I'll walk you through what I'm using, but once you get comfortable with making this little holiday wreath bow, you can feel free to mix and match your materials and ribbons to create lots of different bows. I have 3 2-inch squares of glitter tulle. In my 3/8 inch wide ribbon, I have a 6-inch piece and a 4-inch piece. In my 1/4 inch wide ribbon, so it's a little bit thinner than the other pieces, I have a 9-inch piece, and then I have a pearl head pin and a tiny bead cap. You're going to start by threading your little bead cap onto your pearl head pin, and we're just going to set this aside for a moment, but this is the pin that we're going to build our entire bow on. Now you're going to need your 9-inch piece of ribbon, and we're going to cut this into 3 3-inch pieces. So I'm just measuring out 3 3-inch pieces from my ribbon here. And now holding these 3 pieces together, you're going to stack them right on top of each other. You're going to hold those 3 pieces together and fold them in half. I have a little bit extra on one of my pieces, so I'm just trimming that to make them equal. And now when you fold these ribbons in half, you are going to use the pin that you threaded with your tiny bead cap, and you're going to pin right down through the center through all 3 pieces of ribbon. Flip that pin over and spread your ribbons out on the pin. And now one by one, you can fold each ribbon end back onto the pin to create these tiny loops, and you might have to pull them up a little ways to get them up there near the tip of the pin. But you're just going to keep folding them back and pinning them. And once you have folded all of those ends back onto the pin, we have the first layer of our holiday wreath bow. Now you're going to need your 6-inch piece of your next piece of ribbon, and we're just going to cut this in half so that we have 2 3-inch pieces. So I'm just going to fold this in half and cut at the center. And now we're going to fold these in half again, and using that same pin where we've already started building our bow, we're just going to pin down through the center point of these ribbons, and then again flip this over, spread those ribbons out, and fold each end back onto the pin. And since this ribbon is a little bit wider, we're just adding 4 loops, but if you wanted to add more loops to any of your bow layers, you could certainly do that. Once you pin through all 4 ends of the ribbon, you can flip that over and take a look at your second bow layer. And now we're going to add our pieces of tulle, and there's a couple different ways you can do this. You could use your pin and weave in and out of the center all the way across the piece of tulle. So you can see as I'm moving up and down through that tulle, it then makes it all bunched up there at the center. Or another way you could do this is fold your piece like an accordion. So I'm folding it forward and backward all the way down the piece, and then pinning right through the center. They get the same effect, it's just figuring out which one you find easier and more fun to do. So you're going to use that method to add all 3 pieces of tulle to the back of your bow. Spread those pieces out along the back, playing with them until you're happy with how they lay. You might also find it easier to pin this into your ornament first and then mess with those tulle pieces to get them to sit how you want. And now we just have one more little piece left to add. You're going to take your 4-inch piece and fold it in half, creating an upside down V shape, so you're angling that fold outward a little bit. Pin through that top fold. And now we have the beginnings of our little holiday bow here, and you can pin it onto your wreath ornament wherever you would like it to sit. And now you can adjust it and play with those ribbon loops until they look how you like. And we're just going to add a little touch to the bottom tails of our ribbon pieces here by cutting a little V shape into the ends of them. So I just finished off my bow by cutting a little V into the ends of the tails. And like I said, you can take a moment to adjust this bow until you're happy with how it sits on your ornament. And with that, you have completed your mini holiday wreath bow. You can find so many different color combinations and ways to create this bow to add to your various wreath ornaments to make them really look like a mini wreath that would be hanging on someone's front door. I hope you have a ton of fun coming up with new ways to create these mini holiday wreath bows. Happy ornamenting!